All right, and we're back. We have our transaction built, our form built, and we're ready to start testing this out and get ready for the onslaught of errors and kind of start ticking away at them one by one so that we can eventually get our transaction built and expressed again in static data. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to get our title. We're excited about our super title. Oh yeah. And then we're going to choose our minion Bonanza Bro. We're going to get our staking address. So that's this address. I have it again on my notepad side view again, just for convenience sake. And we're going to get our staking token address. Perfect. And the amount in raw units here. And this will send funds from our minion. I think it's like 0.001 DXS token into the Yenis-Zenis pair and be set up for all eternity in fake paradise. Here we are. We're going to submit and see kind of what errors happen here. Oh, and amazing. Amazing. So I guess in a in a tutorial where I'm supposed to show you errors, we actually get none for the first time ever. Perfect. So I guess what I'll do here then is I will go through some of the things I would use to debug. I definitely always pop open the console. Not a whole lot to work with here. You can see that there's something args here. What that does is it just shows you the arguments that are going to the smart contract. It's a little tough to use with the safe minion multi-transactions because it's a little bit hard to debug what that is. That is the call data that we're sending to the contract, but as you can see, not the most legible code or readable code out there. So you might need a little bit more sophisticated tools once you start getting into these multi-transaction proposals. But yeah, here is where if you wanted to see, it is helpful. We can see that our JSON to details is working. We have our JSON string here with title, super title, and then the proposal type. We don't have our link and description because those are packed away in additional options. Perfect. And then true and zero, I don't really need to get into too much. One is a members only thing, and the other one I think is a value forward or like using a native token amount. Not quite what we'll be doing with this. So yeah, that's how the args array works. Is basically it just logs out what you're sending directly to the smart contract. And I think that's pretty helpful to have. But I think some of the things that'll be more helpful are a little bit more real time. So first thing we can do is if we're having trouble with the form values, let's go into the form here. And then I think it is log values is true. And, I don't keep this on all the time because it gets super annoying, but it's really nice when you're trying to figure out what's coming out of your form. So let's take a look here. And if we open up here, we can see our values object. So here's our values object that the form creates. So we got our amount. Notice all the names that we created for our fields are in this form object here. This is the data that's inside. So notice that this is undefined. We select our minion. Oh, look at that. We have our selected minion here. A selected minion as safe address. This is a little under the hood, just kind of gets the safe address as well. Staking address. So yeah, once we get our staking address, I think it's auto-filled here, ready to go. This will update. And so when you're typing values dot blah blah blah, that's the object that you're looking in right here. Values dot amount, values dot staking address. This is the stuff that you have access to when you're trying to express your transactions in detail here. And you can set whatever property on the values object by selecting the name or by changing the name of your fields. Hopefully that matchup is clear. If you have any questions at all at any time, I'm in Discord. My name is Jord at #8018. You can always talk to me. Also, there's one more thing. If we're still having a little bit of trouble, this is good for debugging the UI, not really great for debugging transactions. So built into this new little helper function that we made, we have a log tx is true. And you can see that was already commented out. It will debug. I just need to refresh. Debug. Enter, bro. Staking address. Here we go. Amount. There we go. You'll see action data for transaction 0, and you have the action here. So this is the stuff that you had filled out in your actions. It logs out the application state. Remember all that context data. You have all the form data, your form Lego in here. You have the injected provider, the one that you're using in your MetaMask or other wallet. You have your lifecycle functions. Those are a big deal for a lot more of the core DAOhaus forms. And local values, which again is something you use inside of like the custom React component forms. You have access to now, little time object. You have access to the transaction that you built, and you have access again to the value. So this is that data tree that when you type in the dot notation, when you type in these things, this object here is what you're going to be searching. So if you're ever wondering, how do I find out my deposit token decimals is, you can kind of traverse this tree here and find what you're looking for. I hope that's helpful. In your target contract, you get the args, so you get to display out what those arguments are. So in transaction 1 here, this is the args. What those arguments are after you've done searching for them. So this is your staking contract. This is what it looks like before you've searched, and then this is what it looks like after. Value, operation, these are other arguments that are built into the safe minion, not really relevant for a lot of the boosts that are built, especially ones that don't use like native network tokens like ETH or Polygon. Your ABI has your function name, your snippet. It just kind of presents everything for you. Notice it's only logging the transaction that I put true. If you wanted to log the other one, you could also, of course, log that as well. I just figured it would be a little bit more ergonomic just to do the one you were concerned about. Also, of course, for a lot of the things that go wrong, say, you forget a D in staking token address. Actually, not there, but say you forget a D in staking token address. Let's do it up here. This is usually where I would forget. So refresh, make sure this mistake actually gets set in. When it searches, it should let you know what it can't find. Didn't work. Something went wrong in search data. Okay. Well, it's a little crowded right now because we're logging basically every single thing in the world out. There we go, right up here, right above the arrow. It was just hard to see because I have 18,000 values objects logged out. I'll shut that off because that's pretty annoying. But it shows here all of your data that you're looking through, and then it's telling you where you got the data wrong. So remember when I took out that D, here's that. It's like, I don't know what to do with this. So it logs it out for you there. And so let's find where that was and put that back so that it works. That's what we want, is our stuff to work. Okay, let's get rid of this log values because annoying. Okay, and then that's our form. That's our transaction. Worked on the first go. Pretty exciting stuff. Doesn't usually go that way. One big downfall of doing things like this is it's still a pretty new API. It's a new way of building out all these forms and transactions. So it can be really hard to figure out what's happening or what's going wrong if you're new to this and if you don't know what's going on under the hood. Now, by all means, if you're interested in getting involved and going through all the code, the form builder, the transaction builder, see how we're polling, see how we're interacting with contracts and what's going on, by all means, dig in, like get in there, find ways to improve and help us make it better. That would be amazing. But also, if you're like on a hackathon or you just want to make this boost, it can be a little bit challenging. So hopefully, if you use the tools that are here and you come in and ask me questions or come to support and ask, we'll be able to help you out and we'll be able to get that boost built. All right. Thank you.